Record. All right. Okay. Welcome to the Employability Skill Series, where we explore the top skills employers are looking for in candidates. Each week, we will cover different topics with thoughts and insights from professionals in a variety of industries. I'm your host, Megan Morrow, Senior Associate of Experiential Learning and Employer Relations. And today I have Mike McCubica, Associate Head Men's Basketball Coach, as my guest. And today we will be addressing accountability in the workplace. Mike has been a member of the Florida Southern men's basketball staff since 2015. And as he just shared, for those of you that are on the call, he's been in Florida for 11 years. So he is now a Floridian, but he is originally from Connecticut. um, he has been the assistant under the head coach, Mike Donnelly. He served as an assistant coach for his first 4 seasons at Southern before being elevated to the position of assistant head coach in 2019. As a longtime assistant to Donnelly, he has spent nearly a decade on the sidelines with the Moccasins head coach during stints as Southern's Connecticut State 2010-2015 and post-University 2009-10. He is responsible for film breakdown practice plans, travel, and all other aspects of day-to-day operations for the Mocs. At Florida Southern, Mike has helped coach and developed 1 All-American, 9 All-Sunshine State Conference sections, and 2 SSC player and 2 SSC defensive player for, I'm sorry, my teams just popped up, of the year winners. In addition, the Mocs have made the NCAA tournament and won at least 20 games in each of the past 2 seasons, along with an SSC tournament championship in 2019. As a primary recruiter for Florida Southern, Mike has been instrumental in bringing in some of the most talented players in all of Division II. He's also also helped the Moccasins excel in the classroom, with the team earning the NABC Team Academic Excellence Award 2 times and producing 37 Sunshine State Conference Commissioners Honor Roll selections. Mike has also helped spearhead much of the team's community service efforts, as the men's basketball team tailored nearly 300 hours of community service and outreach last year, or this was, I think, 2 years ago. He's also been recognized as one of the top assistant coaches of the community, earning a number 8 national ranking of the top Division II assistant coaches of the country. Quite an impressive bio, Mike. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Welcome, welcome. So Mike, first of all, before we do get started, I know we have some students on the call. We normally have a QR code to track your attendance, but we don't have that up and going on Engages yet. So please, if you're on the call, drop your full name in the chat box so that we can track your attendance, and I will manually put that in for you. Please, your full name in the chat pod. All right, Mike, tell us a little bit more about yourself, and then we're going to get started on what accountability is in the workplace.
Well, yeah, no, I've been coaching for 16 years here at Florida Southern for the past 11. Started out in Connecticut, coached at Southern Connecticut for 5 years. My first coaching job, I was a volunteer assistant at Post University. Attended Syracuse University. To my family, Syracuse. My sister went there. My dad went there. So I followed suit and went up there to upstate New York, like to call that the Harvard of upstate New York. And I was able to get my undergraduate in physical education, and I got my master's degree in higher education. And when you think about accountability, I think where I am, and just here in my bio, it's follow through. I think like that's one of the 2 words that come to mind is following through on whatever I was tasked with, recruiting, working players out, preparing for games, preparing for whatever else the team needs, travel, if we're doing community service. It's just having the follow through. And then with that stuff, and when you're dealing with people, it's just building trust and being honest. I think trust and honesty are key words, but follow through are the 2 biggest words I think that have helped model my career and helped get me to this point. It's just following through on saying and things that I was always saying that I was going to do.
I think that's really key, especially as a coach. You know, you're telling your athletes to do these things, and it's got to be hard things. I mean, the way that the your basketball team has excelled, and they have won championships, and they have won games and everything, and you're telling them to do these hard things. And so they have to trust you because I'm sure I mean, it's not easy. And they're like, why do I have to do these things? And you're just like, trust me, this is what's going to make you better. So I think that really goes hand in hand with being a coach, that they have to trust you and you've built that followership through your follow through.
Yeah, I think it's just explaining the why and understanding that it is a process. It just doesn't happen overnight. So like that follow through, it's easy for someone to say like, all right, I want to improve my jump shot or I want to improve my work in my workplace. Now a lot of people can do it one or two times, but you consistently do it throughout a duration. I say that to change a habit, it probably takes about 21 days. So you have to be willing to put at least 21 days of whatever that work is to change your habit. And you just got to be consistent. Consistency is another big word. Like if you could consistently do what you want to tell yourself that you're going to do or to achieve your goals, I think you can get there. But you got to, it just comes back down to follow through. And it's just not doing it one or two times. It's just consistently doing it and building those habits to get to your goals. And because it's just like, what do you believe in? Like, what are your standards? Like that's huge in accountability. Like, all right, you have to look yourself in the mirror. It's like you versus you. All right, where do I want to be 6 months from now? Where do I want to be in 1 year, 5 years from now? Where do I want to be? So just having that work ethic, having those values, and just seeing, okay, what are my goals? What are my standards? What are my beliefs? How am I going to follow through it? How am I going to consistently get there on a daily basis? I think that really helps anyone in general, not just college students, but everyone.
No, I absolutely agree. Let's go back to what you were saying, like, to developing a habit. I know we're gonna get to accountability here in a second, but you said something really important. Developing a habit, 21 days, so somebody's trying to change something, and I think about our students, especially our first years, they're coming in, they're learning how to study. This is maybe something that we take for granted. We're doing this every day, but they have to learn how to study. They're learning how to juggle a course load. Our athletes are coming in, they're having to learn how to, go to practice, juggle this course load, study on their own, get up on their own for the first time, especially if they're traditional first years. For the first time, they're away from home, they're having to do things on their own for the first time. They don't have someone holding them accountable, like parents or something like that, or teachers that are going to, chase them down if they don't come to class. You said it takes maybe 21 days. What do you tell them when they're up against an obstacle where it does get hard? I mean, what do you say to someone when they're like hitting that wall where they're like, okay, you know what? This is just too hard. I don't know if I can do this.
Well, I think everyone wants it here and now. We're in that type of society where you want instant success and it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen like that. And if it does, it's like, all right, lightning strikes. Like lightning will strike once in a while where you'll have instant success, but that's few in between. But just giving yourself the grace and understanding like it just takes time. Like it just takes time, but give yourself that grace to get to where you want to go. And if you have that mindset and belief that you can get there, I think anything is achievable.
Awesome. Yeah, I think, yeah, we just got to push through because I mean, not everything is easy and it isn't instant gratification. It isn't going to be easy all the time and it's not going to happen right away. I think that's important for everyone to know because, I know like, starting a new diet or new exercise, routine, you're like, hey, I was just at the gym for 3 hours. Why don't I have a six pack? Like, it takes time. But
No,
let's
you're
talk about
right.
accountability. What is that? What does that mean to you?
I mean, I think it's everything. I think it's our guys. I mean, I think we all, and from a team standpoint, I think we all hold each other accountable just because we want to get to a certain place. We have our goals, we have our expectations, and how do you get that? I mean, we hold each other accountable. Now it's unique because it's a team that's put together. There's 17 players, student athletes. There's four coaches, four managers. We have a trainer. We have an SID. So it's just you bring everyone together and you say like, what is our goal or what's our collective goal? Now everyone has their own like personal goals, but like what is our one collective agenda? What's our one collective goal? And we can hold each other accountable. Now, personally, how do you hold yourself accountable? I think it comes back to like, what are your standards? What are your beliefs? Where do you want to see yourself? Like what are you willing to do to serve your future self? I think that's what accountability is.
I like that. I like that. I know some way that I hold myself accountable. I like to write things down. I'm a checklist person. I like to have it
Firm believer in
down.
writing stuff down.
Yeah, I like to have it down so that it's a visual representation. It's not just in my head because it lives rent free in my head. And then like there's like, oh, if I did it, who's gonna know, right? Whereas I write it down, it's there, it's holding myself accountable. I see it. I can't literally cross my day off until I hit everything on that list. And then, I maybe it's just me that sees it, but it's me that sees it. And I know that if I don't do it, or, I'm disappointing my own self. But if I have it there, it's either on my mirror or it's on my, planner or something I hold in my desk, either at home or here at work. It's like I can't close the day out until that stuff is
Done.
crossed off.
But that's the key, like writing it down, like the simple act of writing it down and then being able to cross it off. Like you're looking at your to-do list at the end of the day going, all right, this is what I achieved. I crossed off this, I crossed off this. Maybe I have one more thing. And it's easy to say like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. It's just like really think like, how long will this task take me? Will it take me 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? It happens to me all the time when I have to fold laundry. I hate folding laundry. And it's really like a 5 minute task. I was like, it's
Mhm.
gonna take me 5 minutes. Like I probably will spend maybe 5 minutes, I don't know, on social media, just doing nothing. So I can spend the 5 minutes, 10 minutes folding laundry and just being honest with yourself, going like bringing it all home. Like be honest with yourself, like look yourself in the mirror. It's at the end of the day, it's when I was thinking of and writing some notes down, one note I wrote down was, just like, be the hero of your story. That's where it just comes back down to you and doing things that you need to do to get you to the next level in life.
No, yeah, it's true. Because I can even think now, like there's some projects that I have laying around. Like I don't know if you know, I just bought a new townhouse, so I've been in there about a little over 2 months. And so just some projects that are, I got to hang this painting and hang this and do this and do that. And I walk by it every day, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. And like you said, it'll literally take, 5 minutes, but it's like I got to go down to the workshop and I got to get the hammer, I got to get the level, got to get the stud finder, I got to get this, got to get that. And but once I get everything, it's like I know it's gonna take me 5 minutes. And then the satisfaction of the painting will be up on the wall, or, this will be like right now, my son's fishing rod, that he wants this 20-foot long, saltwater fishing rod he wants hung up. He doesn't want it in the garage. He doesn't want it, and he's off to boot camp right now. And that'll be something that'll be really important that I could have hanging up on the wall for him when, in another 12 weeks when he comes home, that it'll be there. Right now it's sitting on the floor and it's like I keep walking by it. I'm like, oh, gotta get to that, gotta get to that. And it'll be a great sense of accomplishment, knowing that I did this for him. But in my mind, I'm like, I still have 12 weeks. I still have 12 weeks, but it'll be 5 minutes if I just do it.
12 weeks is going to go by quick. So it's just, I think it comes down to, I just lost my train of thought. I had a good one too. Jeez. I just, because I went down that rabbit hole of like the military and the 12 weeks. And my nephew is in the Marines. He's in the military currently serving. And I know what it feels like to get stuff done.
Hmm.
As humans, we are at our best at putting up our own roadblocks.
Uh-huh.
Like we put up our own speed bumps, we put up our own roadblocks. When we know we have to get something done, it's like, oh no, I got to do this thing, I got to go here, I got to do this,
Yes.
and this like this task. And then for the students, like it probably comes down to schoolwork. You have a paper
Yes.
to do, and you're like, well, today I'm going to do laundry. So now you want to do laundry. Now
Yeah.
you want to clean your room when you have to do your paper. So it's just prioritizing what you need to do in this. Write it down. Say, all right, here are the priorities I need to get done today. Number one, A number two, A, B, whatever, how you organize yourself. Put the hard, sometimes you put the easiest things first, get those done, or put the hardest things first and then work your way down. It's just, however, what works best for you. So understanding like, all right, how can I get stuff done? It's just, don't put up those roadblocks. So we're really good at that. And that's just like the mind over everything.
Oh, I'm glad that you brought that up because that is so true. We are our own worst enemies.
Yeah.
We self-sabotage. So, it's so easy. And then, like you said earlier too, like, it's so easy to pick up your phone and let me doom scroll on social media because 5 minutes is so easily becomes an hour, an hour and a half. I mean, it's a time sucker. That's why they call it doom scrolling. And, TikTok or let me just check my email, like you sit down to do a paper, you sit down to do an assignment, which of course, let's face it, nobody really wants to do unless it's something you're super passionate about. But even me, like I'm in grad school too, and it's like, and I'm sitting down to do a paper, and it's like, okay, oh, let me just check my email really fast. Oh, let me just check. Oh, this message just came through. Let me, and it's just like all of a sudden an hour has gone by or 30 minutes has gone by. And so my best piece of advice to hold myself accountable, and so students who are listening or watching the recording, silence your notifications. Set a timer. Do an hour. You can do anything for an hour. And think about this too. Whatever's going on out there, outside of your dorm room is still going to be going on in an hour. It's still going to be going on. Set a timer, silence your notifications, flip your phone over, put on I listen to Gamma Hertz 40 or something like that. It's supposed
Okay.
to be
Yeah.
like
Nice.
brain. Yeah. Do you do that? It's like brain.
Once in a while.
Yeah. It's like brain fuel. And so it knocks out all the other outside noise, but I do it like for an hour. I silence all notifications and I refuse to give in to my dogs. If they want to go outside, tough. Like I really let them out. The dogs have been out. I don't answer the phone. I don't, I make sure I have it completely quiet. And for one whole hour, nothing is going to distract me. But once that hour's up, I stop. I reward myself with I've given myself a full hour and then I can do the laundry. I can check my phone. I can play with the dogs, or I can do something with my kids, or I can go for a walk, or I can go for a nap, or I can have a snack, or I can go see my friends. But I also have to set a timer then too, especially if you're up against a deadline, if you're doing a big paper or you're doing a big project, set a timer for, an hour or 2 hours or something, and then come back to it. So something like that, if you're, again, if you have a whole bunch of things that you're trying to get done, like in a weekend, or if you're on a time crunch.
That's the thing. Like we all have the same 24 hours. It's just a matter of like, how are you using it? Even
Mhm.
Apple. I mean, everyone. If you have an iPhone, at some point during the week, you're getting that notification of your screen time. Like you're getting that notification, and that's a real thing. Like Apple saying, "All right, we want you to use our product. We want you to use our phone, but we're also going to hold you accountable by saying, hey, you spent 6 hours on you average spending 6 hours on your phone a day doing this, and that. And they're just being real with you. And that's just like when you
Right.
see that, some people don't even check it, but you should check that from time to time. It's like, where am I spending that time on my phone? Is it work related? Is it social media? And I'm pretty sure for all of us, a lot of it is social media because
Mhm.
when you go down these rabbit holes of whatever, you get sucked into these worlds. But even Apple is going to hold you accountable and say like, hey, we just want to like give you this information. This is where you're spending your time on your phone. So we all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's just a matter of how we use it.
Yeah. If you don't spend it, it'll spend itself. Um, Mike, can you tell me about a time where maybe on your team or in your personal life, if you want to, where maybe you had to hold somebody accountable on your team that was maybe not pulling their weight and how that kind of went, and or maybe somebody who wasn't holding themselves accountable and maybe how that was hurting the team?
Well, I think with us, it's a unique situation in terms of like we have so many practices, so many games. So we watch a lot of film. We collect a lot of data on our guys. We have a lot of software programs that we use where we can look at certain analytics. So I think for myself, it's like, all right, me doing the legwork and finding how can we get our guys to be the most successful on the basketball court. So we're looking at different things. You're looking at the film, you're looking at stats, you're looking at some other analytical stuff, and then just telling them like, hey, this is what we're seeing, this is your production, and the reason why you're not producing is maybe you're not doing something in practice, maybe you need to get a few more shots up outside of practice, maybe you need to get in the weight room a little bit more, or it's something we've been very fortunate, we've had a lot of guys over the past 2 years, the past few years, who've just been great teammates. They've come in with the right attitude. So that really has never been like an attitude thing where it's like, hey, you got to adjust your attitude. It's more just, hey, like this is what we see on the basketball court. This is where I think you can improve in these areas. And then just you got to build that trust with them. I think that trust is the most important thing, and just being genuinely honest. Just, I'm like a lot of our guys want to become professional basketball players, so the standard is if you want to be a professional basketball player, that's extremely high. It's an extremely high bar. And they want me to be honest with them. They want me to hold them accountable if they want to achieve their goals. Like if they want to become a doctor, I got to be really hard on them with their academics. Like if they're getting D's and C's, I got to be upfront and honest and tell them, you're not going to get into med school. Like I can't like sugarcoat and be like, well, maybe if you do this, maybe it's just too competitive of a field. It's not going. You're putting yourself in a hole. Like you're just putting yourself way behind the eight ball because it's just too competitive to get into that field or any type of field. It's like C's and D's are not going to cut it. So holding our guys accountable, it happens daily. I mean, on the basketball court with their academics, we've been blessed. The last spring semester, we had a 3.6 team GPA. So it's just
Woo.
yeah, it's exciting. You know,
Yeah.
our guys are killing it. They're doing it in the classroom and they're excelling on the basketball court as well. So kudos to them. I mean, they put in the work, and we're just guiding the whole thing and just holding them accountable for a guy. You know, sometimes they'll slip up in the classroom and just being there saying, "All right, hey, like here's your safety net. We caught you. Like, but just you gotta. Here's the help you need. Here's the resources. Let's get you to where you need to be because you're capable. Like, what are you capable of on the basketball court
Right.
or the classroom?"
Well, I can tell you the students that I've had, your students that I've had in my classroom, going back to what you said, have always been polite, have been respectful, have worked really hard, and never had an issue with them. And when they have maybe slipped up in class, it's always just been an, oh no, I thought I turned that in. It's always been, it's never been an intentional. And I know that I've been able to reach out to you like, hey, can you help me with a student? And you and I have always been able to collaborate and hold the student accountable together. And I think we've always been successful. It just like it's always been just like and like he had it, he just didn't submit it, or he thought he'd submit it, but Canvas mess up. We've never had an issue with one of your players, so I can attest to that in my own classroom that you've had amazing students. So that's been awesome too. Being able
Appreciate
to,
that.
yeah, being able to come together as a team, athletic and academic, and come together there. Yeah, because I do the same thing in my classroom is holding them accountable, especially teaching their professional development, helping them learn how to be professionals in their next step of their journey. I have to hold them accountable because it's not going to work in the professional world to not be accountable for, your assignments or for your professional demeanor or how you show up in the classroom is how you're going to show up in, say, a board meeting or, in the workspace. So it's very important to hold them accountable and to hold yourself accountable. Like, I have to show up to class on time. I have to show up no matter what's going on in my personal life. I have to show up professionally all the time. Like I said, my son just left for boot camp, and the day he left, I came to class. As hard as it was, I was fighting tears, but I still came and I still had to do what I had to do because that's what you have to do in life, So I had to hold myself accountable. So it's a big thing. What kind of advice do you think you could give students who maybe struggle with accountability or maybe who kind of struggle with getting that accountability piece put on them? Maybe somebody who struggles with getting that kind of constructive criticism. How can they cultivate that tougher skin that can handle that?
I think in a college setting, being at Florida Southern, I think you just tell them like you don't have to do it on your own. You can have accountability partners. You can find the resources on campus to help you in whatever you're going through. So there's a lot of resources on campus for everything. So it's just then once again it goes to giving yourself that grace to. I know you want it here and now, but utilize your resources that we have here on campus, tap into maybe some outside resources. And it's just like seek out an accountability partner. If you're having issues with accountability, seek out someone who's gonna hey, call you up. Hey, where you at with everything? Where you at? Hey, if you got to work out, I mean, I walk 5 times a week, but I walk with 2 other people. So like those are my accountability partners. We walk either at 6:15 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. So it's an early start. There are a lot of days when I get up, I'm just like, I do not want to go walk. But I get the text, walking today at 6:15, walking today at 6:30. I get up and I go walk and I feel great afterwards.
Hmm. Yeah, rarely do you want to go, but never do you regret going, is what I always find out
That's
when
the
it comes
thing.
to working out. Yeah.
That's the thing. And anything, like you might regret being like, oh, I have to get this done. But when you get it done, you're satisfied. You're like, well, that wasn't, you
Oh,
look back and
that
go,
feels
that
good.
wasn't that hard. It wasn't that bad. And then I'm speaking from a lot of experience being, in the student shoes way back in the day and, having to, go through school and graduating and, get my master's degree. And then in the career of, coaching basketball, it's a lot of trial and error. The grace period is a real thing because I make mistakes on a daily basis. There's some times when, you just don't want to do something, but you have to do it because it's just for the betterment of the group. So it's just give yourself that grace and just understand like getting things done there's gratification, there's unbelievable gratification in it. And when it's done, you go, I got it done.
Oh, absolutely. So much gratification, but you're absolutely right. Now is the time for that trial and error. It's okay to fail. It's just not okay to quit. Now is the time to learn, lean on the resources. That's a great piece of advice, Mike. There's so many resources available at Florida Southern, free resources. They're available to you. There's so many people here at Florida Southern that want to help. So students don't be shy. Don't not. I mean, and one of the things that frustrate me more than anything is that people say, "Oh, I don't want to be a bother," or I don't want to bother. You're not bothering anybody. That's what we're here for. Trust me, nobody would be in education if we wanted to be bothered. That's what we're here for. We want to work with young people. That's why we do what we do. So get out there. We want to hold you accountable. We want to be your accountability partner. We want to be there for you to help you be successful. We're all available for whatever you need. We're here for you. So please reach out to us. Coach Mack, thank you so much for taking the time
Welcome.
to share your thoughts and insights on accountability. This is, again, a great talk. You're always one of my favorite guests. You're on with me every semester, so I always appreciate you so much.
Thank you. I
We'll
enjoy
see
it
you.
myself.
Yay! We'll see you out on the court November 1st, you said, right?
November 1st against Alaska Anchorage.
Super excited, so I'll shamelessly promote you. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, guys, you know where to find us. Please reach out. Enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, and also today is first day of Convo, so we'll see everybody at Convo and Honeyman. Other than that, have a great day, everybody. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
You.
Have a
Bye.
great one.